So please welcome to the stage Marcus Trufant.
Thank you. Good morning. How's everybody doing? All right. Please excuse me for those who saw me running back and forth. I don't know if anybody has more than 3 kids up here or in the building. Okay. It kind of feel my pain. I have 5 children, right? So I left this morning, and I usually help with school drop-off, et cetera, so I had to work out a little situation this morning, but I got it worked out, so I'm good. So now I'm feeling great. Yeah, so I just want to say thank you, and I'm really excited to be here, man, and thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to speak. The Trufant Family Foundation, we really appreciate this opportunity to be here and just have the opportunity to share our story, and are very excited to be a part of the combined fund drive. And we do have a little connection. I know that every year you guys do a softball game, right? And there's a board member of the Trufant Family Foundation that is here, and that is Kavehi Marshall, and she had the opportunity to man a booth at one of those softball games. And, of course, the proceeds would have come back to the foundation, et cetera, so I want to say thank you guys for that. And I know that this year, of course, with the weather, things were rained out, right? So I'm kind of throwing it out there. If you guys will have me next year.
Maybe, that's for you.
Maybe, yeah. I'm saying maybe I could throw out the first pitch. I could be a part of it, but I want to set the expectation really low. I played football, not baseball, so when it comes to the softball game, you may not be excited as you might be. Yes, I see the football. Don't throw it up here, but yes, I see it. Thank you. So, I was born and raised in Tacoma. Those are my roots. We got anybody from T-Town in here? All right. 253, baby. Yeah, so I was born and raised in Tacoma, and my sports journey, it began at the Al Davies Boys and Girls Club when Coach Terry, who was a female, that's a trivia fact from Marcus Trufant, my first football coach ever was a young lady. Coach Terry, she made me the quarterback of the Al Davies Eagles. And for a young, shy kid, stuttered, was always in the background, really didn't have a voice, making me the quarterback of my first sports team was really something that helped me out and pushed me to the front. It made me be vocal. It made me be accountable. It put me in a position to be a leader, not only by action. I could run fast, I could jump, I could do all that kind of stuff, but to be a vocal leader was great. Of course, at the time, I was terrified, but it was one of those situations that I felt like carried me through and it put me on a path to success and to be able to accomplish my dreams. And, my leadership, it continued to high school at Wilson High School, which is now Silas High. And eventually, I received a scholarship to Washington State University. Go Cougs! Yes, and I always say this, if you've never been to Pullman, you really can't understand the Pullman experience, right? And you got to give me a little bit of space here. You go to Pullman, and it's all kids, right? There's a couple adults out there, of course, to run the grocery stores and to do all that kind of stuff. But when you get out to Pullman, it's really a place where you can bond and you can grow. And for me, it was just far away from mom and dad that, of course, I could spread my wings a little bit, but close enough if I needed to get home. I needed to wash clothes. I needed to get food and do all that kind of fun stuff. So that really worked out for me at Washington State. And then, I guess I can't just gloss over that. There's a big game this weekend. Does anybody know what game is going on, right? there is the Apple Cup, and I like to tread lightly on this. And this is another Trufant trivia fact, right? My 4 years at Washington State, I did not win an Apple Cup game. So, all that to say, as I cheer very hard these days for the Cougars during the Apple Cup. And in the past, I've won some friendly bets. I guess I won't say money to make it seem like I'm a huge gambler, but I won some friendly bets with that. Yeah, and I say all that to say, no, I'm not taking any bets today, but it's still a go Cougs. So thank you guys. And then from Washington State, I was drafted to the hometown team, the Seattle Seahawks, in the first round of the 2003 draft. And it's been a long time, but the love and the support that I get in this community is, I don't think it's anything like it, right? And you go to other cities, right. Yeah. And you go to other cities and other sports teams, the community in the 12s is just a different type of energy. I wouldn't want to be at any other place than here, and it's just been great, and I just wanted to say that. So just a love and appreciation, so I want to say thank you guys to the 12s, everybody, for supporting me. It's much appreciated. Yes, so throughout my life, and I'll speak for my two younger brothers too, the common theme in the Trufant household was unwavering support. And my mother's not here today. She had a prior engagement, and it was a little early for her, right? And my father passed away about 3 years ago. But the support they gave to me and my brothers, and that's from everything. It's not just sports, but everything in school. You talk about student of the month, talk about coming to singing programs and Christmas plays and all this kind of stuff. I had both parents that were there 99.9% of the time. Of course, they both worked, but that was really the thing. We knew that we were going to have support. And the support comes in times where you need a little bit of tough love, too. Those times in school where you get called into the principal's office or things aren't going right, they were there for that, too. And we always knew that our parents had our back no matter what the situation was. So the Trufant Family Foundation was born from that. I wanted to be able to recreate that feeling of support to my peers. I'm just going to read something real quick that will kind of paint that picture of just what we were trying to create with the Trufant Family Foundation and helping the kids and helping the youth of the community get to a place of being able to feel that support, to be able to know that that love and support is always going to be there in the background. Because I feel like that's what separated me from some of those peers that I grew up with. All right, so just go back and read this. I grew up in Tacoma. I had talent, but talent only takes you so far. I had coaches, teachers, and I had mentors who didn't let me fall through the cracks. I had parents who had my back every step of the way. But not everybody's that lucky. A lot of kids in my neighborhood weren't that lucky. That's where I started the Trufant Family Foundation. It wasn't because I came an NFL star and thought I should do something good. It's because I saw friends, and those friends had dreams just like me who never got to live them out. The streets took them, or life knocked them down. They didn't have anyone there to help them get back up. And I couldn't stand back and watch that happen. So, yeah, man, I think back to my childhood and just being on the playgrounds, and you grow up with all these guys and these girls, right? And you guys have a lot of the same views. You have a lot of the same thought process. You're having these same conversations, but just going back to that, I came from a great home. I know there was a lot of stuff going around, a lot of stuff going on in some of the communities that I went to school in and stuff like that, but my peers didn't necessarily have that support. And I didn't know any better, of course, when I was younger, but as I grew up, I understood that continuous love, that continuous support, that continuous feeling that, all right, I could do this. If I fall, I'm going to have somebody there to pick me up. I don't have to be perfect. This isn't going to be my last chance. It's that there's somebody there and they really have my back. Again, that's where the Trufant Family Foundation was born. And today, the Trufant Family Foundation is focused on education. And we provide scholarships to all the high schools in Tacoma, and we've expanded to regions like Seattle and Snohomish County, and we hope to grow to even more in the future, eventually offering scholarships to students all across Washington State. And the reason we focus on education is because that's where you can get that support. And for someone like me, education and school did not come easy, right? But of course, education can be that foundation. It can be that building block to really set you on a path to be a successful person. It doesn't have to be in sports. It could be anything you want to do, especially when you're dealing with kids. You're dealing with the youth. Of course, everybody wants to be a athlete and do some of the stuff. We all cheer for the sports, but let's set a foundation of love and support. And when you have that, it starts with the education, but it's just not about paying cash for scholarships. You got to have a support system, and you have to be able to eat. There's a mental health component to that, and you have to be able to go through the ups and downs, right, and be able to come back from that. So again, that's where the Trufant Family Foundation steps in. And so when I say the Trufant Family Foundation, and I've talked a lot about family, the Trufant Family Foundation is really that. It's run by family. Constance Trufant, of course, who is not here, she is the executive director. And during my playing days, she was running the ship, and she was leading the ship, and she was in charge. And you know Kavehi, right? The long nights of putting events together, man, and really trying to make things happen. So I really want to give a big time shout out to my mom. But yes. Yep. And the Trufant family, and just with my mom and everything she did, she shared the same vision, right? As far as the support and everything that we can give back to the community and how it really makes a difference. And my dad was right there. My dad was my mom's right-hand man. Of course, he's doing all the dirty work, man. He's loading up the U-Haul, trying to get things together for these different events, and allowing a house full of women to meet all night and all morning and really make things happen. And he walking around in his robe, and he had his little drink, and he made it happen, right? But And just like the dynamic duo, that's how we worked as a family. We had these intentions. If we can recreate the situation that we had with our family, and we can give that to other kids, that's our dream right there. And that is really the backstory of the Trufant Family Foundation. That's where it started, and that's where it continues to this day, is to help, to have that support. And the education piece is just a small piece, right? And there's so many other things that go along with that, but the education, it can be a great start, and it can be a foundation, and you have to grow from that. And for some kids, they don't think they have a chance to go to college, or they don't think they have a chance to do well in school, or they just don't. They don't think they have anybody there that has their back. So, again, that's where the Trufant Family Foundation comes in. And, of course, I'd be in trouble. My wife's not here, but since the passing of my father, we have taken a step back as far as the foundation, but we are trying to find our new normal. So I would say in maybe the last 3 or 4 years, my wife and I have really taken the foundation by the horns and have really been trying to make this happen, and just been doing different events, and just being able to meet and build with new partners and really make things happen, because we know that there's always a need, and we love this work. This isn't something that you do. This isn't something you do because you have to, and I know it. You do it because you love it, and you know the type of impact, of course, that it brings. You're not looking for awards and different stuff like that. I know it is a competition, though, right? Right? But this is something that we do because the work needs to be done. And so I just want to give a shout out to everybody here. I know you guys are doing the real work, and we're doing the work, and of course, it's never done. And, the job is never done. There's so many people that need help. And it's the competitive juices, of course, they get flowing from me. And I'm retired now. I try to stay in a little bit of shape, but I don't get to go out there running around on the field. I stopped playing basketball because I tore my Achilles a couple years ago. So all I really got left is to go out and let's make change. Let's make this impact, right? But yes, that's funny, but I'm saying it's one of those things, right? We want to continue this for as long as we can do it, and we want the ball to keep going further and further and to make more impact. And I love when I meet a guy or a gal that I met him in high school, and then I see him of course, you see them in 5 to 10 years, and they've done all of these great things, and things have just really come full circle. And, of course, it makes me feel old, but that's a part of the game, and that's why we play the game, just as far as trying to get to these kids early and then become superstars. Kids have so much potential, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of push to unlock that potential. So, yeah, I got off script. I was freestyling on that one, but I'm going to make it work. You're right. But, yeah, so we all know that running a charity is hard work, right? So I do want to salute everybody that is in this room. And I spoke about it a little bit already, but the work and the impact that is going on, of course, through the CFD is something that it can be huge, right? And my foundation is a part of that. And I just want to say thank you for that. But I just want to encourage everybody in here, right? We all need, you can call it a small pat on the back, or you can call it encouragement. But you guys are making a difference. I am making a difference. We got through COVID. We did all of this hard stuff, right? And we were still trying to find a way to give back. We couldn't get together, but we wanted to feed people through the Trufant Family Foundation. We gave people transportation. We did all of these different things, and it's not that it can't be done. And I know there's some great minds in here, and you guys make a lot of impact, but it's just about how do we get to that space and how can we make that happen. So I just want to give another huge shout out to everybody in the room that is making that impact. So so what I want to close with is that I want to thank you guys for being you, right? I talked a little bit about the impact. I talked a little bit about the why. But for me, it always comes back to is that I felt like I was called to do this. Yes, my dreams were to play in the NFL. I trained hard. I trained hard. I worked hard. I went through school, and I struggled through school. I had to do summer school every year to get my math grades up. You know, me and math really don't get along like that. But it was one of those things, when I look back, I got drafted into the hometown team. I was like, okay, this is great. And I got my start at the Al Davies Boys and Girls Club in Tacoma. How can I repeat this? Being a shy kid, a kid that's in the background, a kid that you would never think is going to be able to accomplish these things, but I was able to make those things happen. And I know it just wasn't me alone. I had all of these systems. I had all these people in play that were rooting for me. So the Trufant Family Foundation is trying to be that for kids in this area. Let's create positivity. Let's create success. And let's create opportunity, right? These kids, they have so much, and sometimes the circumstances are out of their hands. But as adults, just like everybody in this room is already doing, how can we take these kids to the moon and just give them that little push in their potential? It just is unmarked, or the potential is unmatched. And yeah, I just say I know it firsthand, and I've seen it. I've seen the recipe to when you support these kids and you make them feel good and you give them not everything you need, but that you give them what they need, that you give them the tools, and they can really make it happen. So, yes, I want to say, everybody, just continue to do what you're doing. It doesn't have to be my cause, but find something, of course, that moves your heart. It's something that moves your soul, and be a part of that. And you can bring a friend with you, right? Yes. Yeah, I'm always talking about teamwork and doing things together, and I'm all about it. If we're all trying to do the same thing, let's team up and let's become a monster and let's make it work, right, and make some noise. So that is my time. I really appreciate you guys for your time and letting me share some of my stories, man. But you guys continue to do the work, and I appreciate you. I definitely appreciate you guys, but that's my time. And I want to do one thing, of course, before I go. I always like to check the temperature of the crowd, make sure everybody's still good, make sure we're still it's still awake. But I check. So if I do this, C. 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 Thank you guys very much. Go Hawks. Appreciate it. Thank
you. TBW proudly brings you coverage of the people, places, and issues that you care about. Check out the rest of this video by clicking the link in the description, and make sure to visit tbw.org to stay connected to your government.